Well, hello, wealthy women. I am truly excited today because I have a beautiful woman with an amazing story and unbelievable expertise in being able to help you just grow in many different ways. And I'll let her share that with you. But I want to introduce you to Trish. She is just so special and so warm and such a light, and I just know that you're going to love this interview. So without further ado, let me go ahead and pass it over to you, Tricia. Maybe you can tell us all about you, about your work, where people can find out more about you, and then we'll of course get into our success questions round. So take it away.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Tamara. Hi, everyone, and Happy New Year to all of you. It's an absolutely fantastic. I love the beginning of the year. It's a great place to start. It's a great place to just take a deep breath and rejuvenate. I'd love it. So who am I? Well, I'm coming to you from Queensland, Australia. I am what you might call unique. Yeah. When people ask me what I do, I tell them, I help you to be the unicorn in your business. And so I'm all about helping you to own your uniqueness, to stand up and have the confidence and self-belief to share that uniqueness and talk about your business, your message, your career, whatever it is that is bugging you and wanting to burst out. I help
Mm.
you to do that constructively, coherently, competently, and connectively so that you can really get your message across and connect with the people that you want to do. So you can call me a confidence coach, a get known, be seen specialist, a personal brand strategist. I'm Australia's leading expert in empowering introverts, and my passion is to work with you so that you have the success you want, whatever that success means to you. It could be more clients, it could be more money, it could be personal growth, it could be just to have the enjoyment in what you're doing, but have the confidence to have that enjoyment. And that's what I do. I do workshops, I do mentoring, I speak. I'm an author, 19 books, and I just love what I do because for me, as an introvert, and we'll probably get into that a bit more, because I was an introvert. I'm still an introvert, but I was an extremely shy introvert way back in the Jurassic period when I left high school. I would never have done what I think I'm doing now. People would never have thought that I could do what I'm doing. I had no confidence. I had no self-belief. I was just happy being in the background. And a lot of the things that I talk about and I work with people is having like-minded groups of people that will support you, having mentors that will push you off the cliff, but then be there to catch you if you don't quite fly and you're not quite ready, to ask the difficult questions. I had all of those. I had people who worked with me to show me that I did have a message, that I had self-belief, that I had confidence. So people, that brings me to today where I have no compunction. I'm absolutely quite okay with saying, I'm freakingly awesome. I'm
I
unique.
love this.
I love what I do, and that's me.
I love it. I love it. And what is your website if they're listening and listening to the podcast version of this?
Okay. You can get me at all those W's trishspringsteen.com, and that's TRISSPRINGSTEEN.com. And for those perceptive people out there, yes, my husband is distantly related to the singer Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, that's even news to me. Wow. And interestingly enough, I spent a portion of my childhood about 20 minutes away from where he lived, as well as Bon Jovi. So there you go, small world after all. How
Okay.
fantastic. Well, Trish, you are a joy and so talented in so many different aspects. And I know that when we originally spoke, we talked a whole lot about, you know, being okay and confident with visibility and that it is a journey. And I love that just one of your skill sets is all about public speaking and helping others to gain in their confidence. This is, of course, my whole target market is women business owners, and many are okay now being online, but a lot of them, of course, still have that internal struggle, where it doesn't feel comfortable, where they don't fully have those tools in their toolbox yet. And I wanted to maybe if you could just share a little bit more with that focus, of how you work with women, others, to help them gain that confidence in the public speaking, and how they might be able to kind of look towards your programs to help them with that as well.
Absolutely awesome. As you'll get to know me, I have an absolute passion about speaking and communication, because I know personally from the things that I've developed that it underpins everything that you do in your life. It's from wanting to go and get that promotion, wanting to get that job, wanting to open your own business, being able to go up to the school and talk to the teachers about your child, wanting to stand up in a meeting as an advocate for a message that you've got, wanting to say that, hey, I don't think that's right, but I want to speak about it. All of that comes from speaking and communication skills. As you develop on your speaking journey, you realize that if you can get up and speak to an audience from, whether it's from 5 to 500 or more, or answer a question just like that and be concise and coherent and competent, when you can do that, you realize that that confidence just flows over into your life, into what you want to do. So when you want to pick up that phone and talk to a client, all those skills that get you up on the stage or get you out in front of an audience, they're the same things that you can use. That breathing, that thoughts that, I am able to do this. Being able to, I work with you on your mindset to get rid of that negative voice, because honestly, people, speaking is one of those things that many, many people are afraid of. And yes, back in that Jurassic period, I was just like you. I would not ever have got in front of anybody. What changed for me was working on my speaking skills, getting the techniques and strategies to know that I could construct a speech, to get to where I am now, where I know that if someone comes to me and says, can you speak on a topic in 10 minutes for 15, 20 minutes? I've got 10 minutes to do it. They've asked me to speak on something. They've asked me to speak to an audience. And I am extremely comfortable to be able to do that. I can confidently say, because I've done it, that I can speak on any topic for any given amount of time to any given number of people at any given notice. When you can get to that, then you know that you can open the door. As an introvert, I am absolutely, and I'm going to tell us, petrified to walk into a room with people I don't know. It takes a lot of courage for me to speak to people. I have a few little things up my sleeve that I might share down the track, how I get through that. And one of those things could be for those perceptive people who are watching and might realize that I do have this slight obsessiveness with the color purple.
I love it.
And the reason that I do, well, I love it myself, but the side product of that I discovered was I don't have to make conversation with people. I've got purple hair. I wear purple. People come up and say, I love your hair. Oh, wow. I love what you're doing. You look great from top to bottom. And you know what that's done for me? It breaks the ice. I don't have
Yes.
to approach them. They approach me. Now, I'm not saying that every one of my clients decides to have them fall in love with the color purple. I mean, I know there are other colors on the spectrum. I understand that people, there's other colors. You can have whatever color you like. What I'm saying, and what I do if I work to people, is that a lot of people have this misconception when they're getting to speak. Firstly, they think they don't have a message. Secondly, they're not sure how to start. Thirdly, they're not sure how to construct their presentation. Fourthly, they look at people and think, wow, there's a fantastic speaker. I want to be just like them. And you can't. It's the first thing I say to people, you cannot be just like them. And they say, why? Because I said, you're not them.
Yes.
You just have to be you, only more so.
Yes.
And I work with you to own your uniqueness, because people, Every one of us on this planet is unique. We're all different. We bring our own life experiences, our own expertise, our own thoughts and perceptions, which are different to yours or to yours or to yours.
Yes.
And that's fine.
Yes.
All you need to do is have the confidence to own that. And that's what I do. I work with you. I work with your mindset. I give you the strategies and the techniques, and we work to being who you are, only more you, because I believe in you until you believe in yourself.
I love that. And it's so important. And I think sometimes we really even underestimate um how we may choose to be quiet or shy and not share, not realizing what a gigantic um lack of impact that actually has. Because you all of our voices matter, and it is not just about, like you said, business. It's about speaking up in your relationship with your partner, maybe to your children, to a friend. Even just if you're shopping, having a voice is so important, because you are worthy as any other, and you deserve to be heard. And we have to come away from this um, veil of shyness and discomfort and figure it out, because this is our life experience. And we also want to use our voices to be blessings to others. And if we don't get in front of it, we never get a chance to shine. And I often say this to a lot of my clients. I understand being shy and so forth, like that. That can happen. But your message is more important than your shyness, because your message is here to serve and help somebody. And if you get stuck in your, shyness in this area, then your message doesn't get out there and you don't make that impact. And that impact has ripple effects. And so I love, Trish, that you basically believe in your clients until they can believe in themselves. And it's okay that they're uncomfortable. It's normal to be uncomfortable in the beginning. I get that. I remember back in university, I was taking a speaking class, and I did a demonstration on how many teaspoons of sugar were in a can of Coca-Cola. If I remember correctly, it's 12, which I was shocked, and I was glad I didn't drink a lot of soda. However, part of my demonstration in front of the whole class was to take 12 teaspoons of sugar and put it in a glass of water with a little food coloring to make my point. Well, my hand was shaking like crazy, and my speech, but I got through it. I got through it. And then even currently, the first Facebook Live, I think the first three, it was, oh my goodness, da da da. And then it was just like, it's fine. And to all of those who haven't done a Facebook Live yet, who have a public speaking engagement that they're preparing for, I can promise you, as well as Trish will promise you, it gets easier, right? The more you practice, the easier it gets. And I love too that you're helping them find their voice, what matters to them, branding themselves, identifying their desires, and then getting a chance to showcase that to the world. Because, like you said, we're all special and unique, and we have an importance to put forward in this world. So I think the work that you're doing is so foundationally important, because without a voice, what is there without a voice? You have to have that message come through. So I love that this is your passion, that this is your purpose, and that you're helping so many people move forward. And it was like you said earlier, when you first started, you were shy, you were, a little unclear, and you found the right network of people for you that supported you. And that is a very key thing that you mentioned as well, that we need to make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with people that uplift us and kind of get the mission that we're on, so that we can be, gently pulled forward to becoming more than where we are starting, right? So,
Absolutely. Look,
yes, I love it. I love
one of
it.
my aha moments was when I realized that if I let my fear, my nervousness, my uncertainty, my lack of belief, if I let that stop me from getting up and speaking, I was being selfish. Because if I
Yes,
walked
yes.
away from that, if I walked away from that, that one or two people who might need to hear a sentence, a word, a paragraph of what I've said, or a paragraph of what I've read, and I've written. If I don't push myself outside and I let my peer do that, then I'm being selfish, because I'm not letting them have the opportunity to hear what they might need at that particular point in their time. And I may never, ever know that. People, you may never, ever know who you touch.
Yeah.
But if you don't take a deep breath, if you don't take what I call 60 seconds of insane courage and step up and do it,
Yeah.
then those people are never going to get what they need. And
Yes.
that's selfish. We can't let our fear, uncertainty, and lack of belief stop us from sharing what we need, so that those people need to hear it at that right time. And that made me realize that it's never, ever about me.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Never. It's never about me. It's about who might be able to hear me. It might be who might be able to read my books, who might be able to have a conversation with me. It's about them. And when you realize that, you realize that you're actually in control.
Yes.
And that can help you overcome your nerves and your fear, because
Mm-hmm.
when we're doing things for other people, we find the courage inside ourselves to step up and do it. So when you take your mindset and realize it's not for me, it's not about my nerves, it's not about my anxiety, my lack of belief, it's about someone who needs to hear what I've got to say.
This is everything. And this is exactly the moment for me when that became so crystal clear, and it's obvious, but you don't always realize it right away. But as soon as you realize it's not about you, and you have a duty to serve others, and whether you want to connect that to your spiritual self, your God self, that's how I feel it. If God put a message in me, that means I'm supposed to deliver it, because it's meant to help somebody else. And that is my job. I have a duty to do that. And if I hide behind my fear and get into basically what is truly selfish, because you're making it about yourself and hiding about your insecurities, then you don't know who you might have touched for the better. You might even, it can be so powerful that you save somebody. So you have a mission to speak up and help. And this is why I am truly thrilled to bring Trish to you, because this is the foundation of everything. Like everything that you do after you can communicate it is icing on the cake. But this communication is the foundation. And so thank you so much, Trish, for being here. It's a very important message to get out there. And the other thing is, as soon as you realize it's not about you and it's about who you can serve, that fear just disappears instantly, because you're not in your own way, all focused on yourself anymore. It truly, the act of serving another, or the majority of people, is a beautiful gift that we want to keep giving as much as possible. It just feels good for us, the majority of us, to want to give more than to receive. And you just go with that energy. So now we're ready for some success questions, because I want to find out some of the backstory of how you got to be this. I'm sure you were always a most amazing woman, but how you've grown and have continued on your journey to becoming even more amazing. So let's get started. I kind of get the idea of why this was such an important mission for you to share. Like many other women in business, it seems that we tend to kind of go through something ourselves, figure out how to fix it in ourselves, and then we get so excited that we know now how to fix it. We want to help others. And it seems like you had that experience where you had to build your confidence up into becoming the voice, your own brand, and getting it out there. So I think we kind of got that. But I wanted to ask you, um, how has building your own business enriched and empowered your life? And why would you recommend it to another woman? Like, what can she benefit from the beautiful um, happenings of building a business?
You know, when you believe in yourself, when you accept your uniqueness, when you accept your strengths, when you acknowledge that we're not good at everything, and people were not, and it's quite okay not to be good at everything. In fact, trying to be perfect can lead you to stagnation, because you don't move forward. You go down in a spiral because you want to be perfect all the time, and you don't move anywhere because you're still striving to get to perfect. And perfection is not achievable, in my opinion. It's just not achievable, because those who want to be perfect never think that they've reached perfection. So they stagnate. So for me, when you're in your business and you have that passion to open a business, or that passion to go forward in your own personal growth, or even in your career, when you take that first step and understand yourself, understand who you are, and understand and accept who you are, warts and all, that is so, so powerful, because it gives you a rock solid foundation. And yes, people, we're never going to be up there all the time.
Yeah.
Life is a series of ups and downs. And I like that.
Yeah.
Because if we stay up all the time, we're never going to learn anything. And it just becomes boring. We stay in that comfort zone. We stay up high. Yeah, we look like we're achieving. The business is going great. But eventually one day you're going to look up and say, this is boring. I'm not getting anywhere. So I celebrate the fact that our life goes up and down. It gives us the time to, wow, well, that didn't quite work. What did I learn from that? What can I take forward? How can I grow more? And what happens is that solid belief that you do, and believe me, people, it took me a long while, because I didn't think I had stories. I didn't think I had a message. There was no way I thought I could open a business, because I thought, I just speak a little bit. I love training, and it took me years to even write, because I thought, well, I'm now speaking. I'm not a writer. Mindset is a really great thing, people, when you can fall back on that belief of yourself, that foundation. It gives you something to fall onto. So if things don't quite work out and you slide a bit, you're not going to go way down, because you're going to hit that foundation, understand that, hey, I am good. I know who I am. I'm not perfect, but I know my strengths. I know what I have to do to bring in someone to help me with the things that I'm maybe not quite perfect at, and I can do that. So you don't fall all the way down. You fall to that rock solid foundation that you've built in owning who you are. Now, that's not an easy journey. It's not an easy journey. Sometimes it takes a lot of work to accept that you're unique, to accept that, hey, I'm really damn good at some things, but don't ask me to do maths, don't ask me to do accounting. I'm not good at that. I'm good at lots of other things. So I know from my own experience, from looking at myself and understanding who I am, that if those things are out there, I can bring in people. And this is where that group of people around you is so important. Even mentors who come and go. You can have 2 or 3 mentors at one time. You can have them for a while. You can have them in different areas that you need to develop. But having a like-minded group of people, now, whether that's an accountability group, whether that's a group like Tamara's got, whether it's just a few friends that you've got, and there can be different groups, but they help you to understand who you are. And they help you to grow into that self-belief. And I guess for me, what I'm saying is, anybody going to business, working on yourself and your mindset and understanding who you are gives you a safety net, so that something doesn't happen. And you've all heard maybe of imposter syndrome, when those negative voices start to come in and say, you might be drifting along and being brilliant and doing all sorts of things. You're having lots of clients come in, you have speaking engagements, things are going brilliantly, and suddenly something happens. And that's when that negative voice comes in and says, see, you should have started that business. You're not that good. And that's where that self-belief comes in, because you can step back and think, well, I know where I am. I know who I am. I'm comfortable with who I am. So I can't be that damn bad. And then you can look at the things that you've done, because nothing is always bad. there's
True.
things that you've achieved. There's the goals that you've done. You look at those. You look at the testimonials, the people you've worked with, because it can't be all bad if those people say that you're good. And then
That's
you can
right.
say, okay, I'm ready to climb again. So that's why I believe speaking, because that comes and gives you that confidence. But that mindset and that understanding who you are and embracing it. I'm not perfect. And I don't really want to be perfect. Thank you very much, because I love what I do. And I love the fact that, hey, sometimes I really stuff up big time.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that's okay. That's a
Yes.
lesson that I learned, and that helps me move forward. So
I
I
love
think,
everything. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say, I think that's some of the things I'd like to leave people when they're starting their business, or when they're in their business, or wherever they are in their personal growth journey. It's okay to be you.
Yeah.
It's absolutely okay to be you, because
I
that's
love
your
what,
strength.
yes, exactly. That's your strength. And this is what I love about you saying this, because it is so true. This perfectionism that comes, especially in the beginning when you're trying to make everything wonderful. And what I found personally that gave me freedom and ownership of myself, a couple, again, easy things were, I just started to say, even to my husband, I'm just not a person who can multitask, I need to focus on one thing at a time. And he didn't, whether or not he got it or not didn't matter. It was me claiming, hey, this is actually a strength and maybe possibly a weakness, but this is who I am. And I started calling out, like, with confidence, oh, I'm not the greatest at that, but this is where I'm good at, and I was totally okay with that, because it made me just accept who I was. And this whole idea of, it goes back to not being afraid to even communicate, because you have a message to share. So even dropping that perfectionism is so important, so you can just show up and shine as you are. This is the part that I love. It's a gift to others when you're not perfect. It is such a gift, because when they see you doing your thing, even if it's a Facebook Live, or you mispronounced a word, or somehow there was a loud noise or barking dogs in the background, whatever it might be that you feel like, oh no, my Facebook Live just got messed up. No, this is wonderful, because you go on, the show goes on, and you're letting those viewers that are also women, most possibly, that are wanting to also feel safe, not having to be perfect. You just gave them an example that they don't have to be this airbrushed perfect model that says perfect things, does everything perfectly. And it is freeing. So when I learned that me being imperfect was actually a gift to others, because then they could calm down too and relax and just enjoy the process, then again, it became, okay, it's not about me, it's about them. By me being imperfect, I give them permission to not be perfect either. And this is beautiful. And I'm seeing it more and more. We want to hear from women or anyone that are just living an everyday life, normal people. We relate to that. We connect with that. We can sense the person's essence and their soul and their true message coming through. It doesn't matter if they're not wearing Chanel and have perfect hair or say the perfect thing, right? It's again about the message and just being connecting. So another great point that you brought up about the whole perfectionism and imposter syndrome, because this definitely goes in typically in the very beginning of the business journey as well. It comes up a lot. So love the answer. Okay, I have another question for you. So many of the women I speak to, myself included, love to start their day with a specific morning routine or some kind of empowering routine that they do, that if they don't do it, they feel a little off. So I was just curious, what are your empowering wealthy woman habits, I call them, that you like to do every day and it just sets you up for success?
I'm a very weird person.
So cute.
My wealthy routine is, my husband brings me my cup of tea, because I can't do anything unless I have my cup of tea first
Love
thing
it.
in the morning.
Yes, love it.
But going on from that though, it's waking up and thinking, wow, this is an awesome day. This is a freaking awesome day. Doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter whether Al did a fantastic day yesterday or that it didn't all happen yesterday. It doesn't matter if I'm feeling like, oh, everything's overwhelming me. I just think this is an awesome day. And I'll either say, okay, this is a day, which is a day for me. And I'm going to be giving myself the okay to have a lazy day. Someone mentioned to me it's a couch day. I'm okay to have a couch day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or if I'm thinking, okay, this is good. The vibes today are looking good. Vibes today are looking good. I just think every day is a new day. And every day is a day to just be joyful, to approach it with fun, to approach it with open arms. I'm not perfect. I wake up sometimes freaking cranky. Like this morning, I was up very early in the morning to do a podcast. Start with it was like 2:30 a.m. No, 2:55 a.m. my time.
Wow.
So by the time I'd finished getting my magazine out, which was around about midnight, because I'm a bit of a night owl, I thought, I'm not going to bed. I'm just going to wait for it. So I read a bit of my book. And then I found out that she actually gave me the wrong time because it was actually an hour later. So I said, that's okay, I'll go back to bed. I'll stay up. So then we started the podcast. And this is where I'm showing you that it doesn't all go right. And it's okay, it doesn't go right because, hey, halfway through the podcast, my telephone provider decided that I've used up my 30 minutes international call and cut us off completely.
Oh, no.
And, I never even knew that I only had 30 minutes per month international call. So now I've learned something.
Yeah, and there's the good attitude, right? There you go. Yep.
And the thing is, when I finally went back to bed and I got up and woke up, I could have let that go on to my day. But I just said to my husband, he said, how'd it go? I said, oh, it was probably the worst freaking bloody thing I ever had. But hey, I learned something. Did you know that we only have 30-minute international?
I love it.
I said, it's a bit of a drastic way to learn that. So I just thought I can let that go. But to me, every day is a day for joy. Now, why am I so passionate about that? I think that's my mindset. My wealthy mindset is that you don't know what is going to happen in your day. So you should approach every day that you're going to do the best and be the best and fulfill it as much as you can. And some days it works and some days it doesn't. I'm going to share with you a reason why that was a changing moment in my life. And this is a trigger. I'll just give you a trigger warning for those people who are listening. In 2007, we lost our son, Craig, to suicide. Now, when I woke up that morning, we had a family that was all there. Everything was beautiful in my world. When we went to bed that night, my world was devastated. Our family was split. It was like there was so many shockwaves. And when I was talking to my husband the next day, and we're trying very hard to process, and it took a long time, but what we said to each other was, that's something that can tear us apart. That's something that can color my life, and it will color your life. And anybody, it will color your life, and you'll never get over it. But what I realized was you never know what the day brings. So I approach each day since then with joy. I try not to let arguments go over. I know sometimes my business doesn't do what I want it to do. I'm sharing you. I'm quite open. I'm not a perfect person. My business isn't zillions of dollars. Some days it's really freaking good. Some days it's not so good. But you know what? Each day is a day to enjoy. Each day is a day to live. So that's my wealthy tip for you. That's how I approach each day. I know it's quirky. It's probably not like, oh, affirmations and things, but I just told you, everybody's unique and everybody does it their own way. And that's my way. And that's why just be you. Just find what works for you and live it and do it. And don't let regrets pull you back. Don't let crises and challenges, because life's not always perfect, but boy, it can be fun if you approach it the right way.
You are so beautiful. What a beautiful soul and you're like effervescence. And your message is exactly what the whole journey is all about, is knowing who you are, being comfortable with who you are, sharing who you are, helping others, finding that positive thread through your life, learning lessons as you go forward, and just making the most out of every moment that you can. And even if you have an off moment, catching yourself and say, okay, I can do better next time, allowing that grace for yourself, and knowing that your message can be such a blessing to those that you don't even realize what a blessing it will be. So please just, yeah, share yourself and share your joy and share your service and be good to everybody and yourself. I love this, and thank you for sharing that. I know that, yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, now I just, let me just look, because we're covering so many beautiful things. I want to make sure that I ask you another question because we were touching on so many good things here. Um, Yeah, so I guess one of the questions that a lot of business owners have in the very beginning is, how do they market their business when there's so many avenues that are speaking? You need to do TikTok, YouTube ads, Facebook, Instagram, email, networking, and it is overwhelming. And I have learned, like I was making a note of before, I learned as I was growing my business, as you said, when you grow your business, you learn about yourself and you start to accept yourself as you are. And one of the things that makes me extremely uncomfortable is being a multitasker, because I get an overwhelmed feeling. And I used to give myself a hard time that I couldn't, get past overwhelm, and I should just make it all come together. And then I just realized, no, that's just not me. I would rather do one thing well and get it going, and then maybe move into something else. But it took me a while. And so I know a lot of business owners, they get that deer in headlights when they realize all of the things, because they're all good things. But how do you choose in the beginning where you can make it a little bit of a success for yourself without the overwhelm? What's your advice on that specifically?
Uh, Thank you for asking that question, because those are my two favorite words that people always associate with me, and that's repurpose and leverage.
Love.
Repurpose and leverage in your business, whether you just started or whether you've been around for a while. You will find there are a lot of things that you've been doing. A lot of us may be doing blogs. Let me just start with that. You might have a blog because someone told you, like they told me when I first started my business with my then business partner, you need to have a blog. So we started blogging. We blogged, and we had a blog for about 12 months, 2 years. And then someone said to us, you need to have a book. It's a really good idea to have a book, because if you put author after your name, it just changes it, which is true. And I would encourage everybody, because you've all got a story. Now, being very lazy and not wanting to get overwhelmed, we looked at each other and said, we're not going to write a book. We haven't got time for that. So what we did, and this is where my repurpose and leverage journey started, we went to our blogs and we took our favorite blogs for 1 year, changed the titles, each of them became a chapter, tweaked them a bit, and we had our book in 30 days.
Oh, I love that.
And there was our first book. So what I'm saying to you is, look outside the square. And that's one of the things I do when I work with my clients. We look at and see what are the gold nuggets that you've got in your book. Because yes, I know people, you'll be told you need to market, you need to be here, and you need to have a book, you need to have a blog. Oh my, you need to have an online course. Oh, you should have some, should be doing webinars. Oh yes, I better have some checklists. I need an ebook. My gosh, where does it all stop? And all I want to do is talk to my clients.
Yeah.
So I say, what else have you got? What have you already got? If you've been doing training sessions and workshops, you've got material. If you've been blogging, you've got material. If you already got a book, I was doing a workshop and we were talking about marketing your books, and I was saying you need to get your book out there, and this is what you can do, and you can do your Facebook Lives, you can do this and all that. And someone said to me, oh, I haven't got time for that. And I looked at them and I said, I happen to know that you have a 355-page book. She said, yeah. I said, do you know that's probably about 2 years of Facebook posts without you doing anything else? All you need to go to your book is pick out a couple of sentences, maybe put an image with it, and there's your Facebook post for 2 years. 2 years without doing anything new. And she just looked at me and said, why didn't I think of that? I said, because we get caught up in what we're doing and we don't see whatever that thing, the forest for the trees or the trees for the forest. One of the things
Yes.
that's one of my weaknesses. I always muck up jokes. I muck up quotations. It gets there. We know what we're
Yes.
talking about.
Yes.
So repurposing and leveraging. Now, Facebook Lives are people, I've been doing Facebook Live tips of Trish every week for about 4 years. And I do Facebook Live practice groups and help people. About just before Christmas, if you'd watched one of my Facebook Live, you would have thought I'd never done one before. Oh, God, the technology went crap. My computer was off. I had no internet connection. I had to use my phone, and I hadn't done one on these things for quite a long time. So that stuffed up because I had to figure out, how do I turn it round? It was probably one of the most less professional Facebook Lives you've ever seen. Did I care? No, because I said to people when I talk to them, I talk to people about Facebook Live, I said, go and listen to look at this one on the 20th of December and have a look at that. You'll learn a lot from that. You'll learn what not to do. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But
Yeah, it
one of the
doesn't.
things I'm talking about Facebook Lives is I teach people, you do your Facebook Live, and if you do not download that live to your desktop, you are a very silly person. Because when you do that, you now have that Facebook Live as a video on your desktop. Guess what you can do with that? You can put it up to YouTube. You can put it on Instagram, LinkedIn. You can take a little bit of it. You can transcribe it, turn it into a blog. You can take all the transcriptions from all your Facebook Lives and turn it into a book. You can turn them into checklists. You can turn them into ebooks. You can turn it into an online course. Repurpose and leverage. Yes, you do need to do
Love.
new content, but you don't need to do it all the time.
This is such brilliant advice because this just takes away the overwhelm. And I just love the suggestions that you just made. And it is so true. We are sitting on our own gold mine and we don't even realize it. And it's just a matter of, looking for, like looking for it and thinking, okay, how can I repurpose that? And this is such a great message because now that message is already yours. You don't have to, it like speaks about who you are, what you're trying to share. And now it's clear. This is like helpful with your branding because it's consistent across everything. And so I love this advice so much. It's fantastic. Really great. I have one more question well, two more questions for you. What will you never compromise with in your business? Like, what is your rock solid, this is how it's going to be, and I will never have it be anything different?
I will never compromise my integrity and my credibility. And that means if I say I'm going to do something, unless there's a medical reason that I can't get there, I will do it. If I'm say I'm going to work with a client, they get 300% attention from me. I'm there for them for the time that I'm with them. If I say I'm going to turn up, even if it's 10 to 3 a.m. in the morning and I'm freaking tired, I'll be there. If I say that's what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing. That's my integrity and credibility. I won't ever compromise that because that means that I am being there fully for the people that I want to be with. And I can't do anything else but that.
I love it. And it's exactly the way I feel, wanting to be an asset to another that you are working with is just such a great feeling. And you get inspired to do it so well. Like you're saying, 300%, it's your heart, it's your business, it's what you stand for, and you want that to be communicated. So Fantastic. I have one last question because this is a really good one also for this time of year. At the time of this recording, we just had a New Year's Day celebration. Um, though this interview is timeless and helpful for whatever time that you happen upon it. But a lot of all of us want to manifest our desires. We have different ideas of what that means and practices. So I guess I was just curious, when you decide that you want to achieve something, whether it's a goal, and if you decide that you're going to, you know, whether it's goal inspired activity or manifesting and thinking about it, like we talked about mindset and positive thinking and so on and so forth. Do you have a process, or do you have a suggestion for those that might have a specific goal in mind and how they can manifest it to help it bring it to reality?
That's exactly what's on my mind at the moment. So thank you for asking
Great.
that
Oh,
question.
good. That's perfect.
Because every year, for the last 6 years, I do a workshop at the beginning of the year, and it's on Saturday this year. And that workshop is what I call planning for success in the year. Part of that is goal setting, affirmations, gratitude, reflection, planning, timelines, vision boards,
Yes.
time management, social media planning, 3-month goal set plans. And one of the things I say is you need to know where you want to go.
Mhm.
If you don't have a destination in mind. So one of the few things we do, I always start with, let's look at last year. Let's reflect on it. What worked? What didn't work? What are you grateful for? What didn't work? We write it down, we tear it up, and we do a little ritual, and we get rid of it. It's no longer part of us.
Mhm.
Then we need to look at our journey, because we can't plan unless we know where we want to end up. And it's the same with your speeches. This is why I say speaking skills are so good, because when you are putting together your speech, you have to have the destination, the outcome that you want your audience to take away. By the time you've planned that, you've actually worked out how you set your goals, how you set your business plan, how you set your life, because it's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. You work out what you want to achieve at the end of the year. Then you need to put into place, well, what do I have to do to achieve it? What have I got? What don't I have? What do I have to put into place? And this is where dreams without being written down, goals without being written down are dreams. Dreams, goals, right. It becomes something solid. But that is only part of it, because unless you put in place a plan of action, it's just going to stay there as words on your paper. So the important part is to plan that action, so you know what you've got, what you don't have. Then you put your time frames in. I need to achieve this here. And this is what we do in my workshop. We write it all down. They walk away with those in their diaries, with their plan of action. Then you've got to have accountability. And then you need to review. And this is a step that a lot of people forget with their goals. They put everything in place, they set it, and then they go off and they do it. And they don't review it, which is like, at least, if not every month, at least every 3 months, you need to review it, because the world changes.
Yes.
You change. Your destination may change, because things may happen and you might have to modify that. That means that you need to reflect and review your goals, because they may change. They may no longer be important. People think once you put your goal in place, it's solid, and if you don't achieve it, you failed. No, what you failed to do is to review it and maybe redo the goal, because your life changed and you have to be flexible to do that. So you're always constantly reviewing, you're always constantly resetting, but you do have your basic main goal. And that's where I put mindset, because you need your mindset. And that's why I love doing the vision boards as part of it, because we've got the goals, we've got the plans, we know where we're going, we've worked out where our destination is. The vision boards give you the visual. Because
Yes.
if you are doing writing, you're doing your thinking, you're doing your actions, and then you've got your visual, which says, wow, that's my vision. That's my vision board in images, some words, and that's there. And when you put it with your plan, your action, and your review and your accountability, you get
Yes,
accountability, then you're pretty well there. Are you going to achieve all your goals by the end of the year? No, I'm going to tell you that. You probably will not achieve all your goals. You will probably achieve the ones that become the most important. Because
yes.
as you travel down your journey, certain goals are going to come up, and they're going to be the ones that think, okay, they're the ones that are going to take me where I need for that destination.
Absolutely. I love this answer and I believe in it. I have had vision boards. Uh, I can't even remember for it feels like forever. And everything that is on my board eventually comes true. So the how and the when maybe are questionable, but they eventually show up if they're meant for me. If it's I always feel like if the desire is in your heart, it is meant for you. And it's just a matter of being flexible with the how you get to it and when it shows up. But just know your why. And I also love, I forget who said this, but someone gave me or a group a tip where whatever like maybe your main goal is or your word of the year or what you really want to embody, make it like one word or short sequence of a couple words and turn that into your password. How many times are we doing passwords on our computer all the time unless we have it all saved? But just the act of typing in that password, that is the thing that you want to manifest. It's just a reminder. Or set your phone to go off at 3 o'clock every afternoon to remind yourself to, just think for a moment and visualize. There's so many little ways that, yes, having accountability for sure, but even you can find your own ways to let your tech help you be accountable, or post-it notes on your bathroom mirror, or the make a mantra, whatever it is. It's so important. And the reviewing, like you said, absolutely important, because you want to make space to be flexible and receive and allow things to adapt and change, because it will serve you better, and it'll may even be better than you ever originally thought it was going to be if you're open. So you have to allow for that fluidity. Yeah, that's the right word. So anyway, I love this. I think this was the perfect last question to focus on, because that is really what it is about. What is our desire? How do we bring that to reality? Like, what do we need to do? And ultimately, how can that, of course, be of service to others beyond ourselves? So I think this was just such a beautiful, inspiring, foundational, heartfelt interview. And I love everything. So many good tips that you gave to, especially like repurposing and being able to not get into the overwhelm, because you can make your leverage work for you. And so thank you so much for being here, Trish. I am just honored to have this time with you, and I cannot wait to share your words of wisdom with so many. So thank you so much. And before we sign off, though, just go ahead and, I mean, I see it right here because we're on the video version, but for those that are listening, how can they find you? What's your website?
Yep, just go to all those W's, trishspringsteen.com.
Perfect. Well,
And I'm
thank
on
you.
Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Instagram. Just look for the purple lady, the name Trish Springsteen, and you'll find me.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much. And all I can say is, to all of you beautiful women, you have that purpose you feel inside. You can trust it. The desire and inspiration can be trusted. Just make space for it, be open to receive, be confident, know that you are sharing what you're meant to be sharing. It's helping you, it'll help others, and it's a blessing. So just keep going forward with your dreams and enjoy every day of it, every moment of it, even ride the waves. Like,
Absolutely.
that makes it a beautiful creative journey anyway. So until next time, I wish you the very, very best. This is the start of a new year. So if you're tuning in now, Happy New Year, and may all your dreams come true for this new, beautiful year ahead of us. And no matter what time you might catch this beautiful video interview or audio interview, it is timeless advice. So just take all of the gold nuggets here and apply it to your life. And until next time, see you soon. Ciao for
Thank
now.
you. Bye.
Bye. Okay, now I get my glasses on. And here we go.